Spero che il film vi sia piaciuto molto. Io naturalmente non ho nessuna voce in capitolo, ma ho pianto come un disperato, quindi scusatemi se ho ancora questa faccia così un po' tumefatta. Se ci sono delle domande, ovviamente da subito, io lascio la parola subito a voi, altrimenti intervengo io. Vi dico soltanto, già lì vedo che c'è una signora che chiede il microfono, prego, che il film in Italia uscirà per Natale. Il microfono credo che stia arrivando, tanto lì che è già pronto, prego.
Buongiorno, sono Paolo Scotti del Giornale. Buongiorno, volevo chiedere a Richard Gere, dunque la storia che ci avete raccontato ha un grande potere di commozione, ma è una storia molto semplice, direi quasi elementare. A volerla raccontare si impiegano non più di un paio di righe. Se non trova che averla allungata per un intero film abbia in qualche modo nuociuto alla sua efficacia, o meglio, se una storia così semplice era adatta ad essere
story itself, and it's almost a silent movie. We set out to make a movie that would be the same as telling a story around the campfire. You know, I could imagine this, people sitting around a campfire and the glow of a fire, and people warming their hands. And while looking into the fire, someone says, "Did you ever hear the story of the dog, Hachi?" And for the next 15-20 minutes, he tells the story. It's that kind of simplicity you want to tell. Now, we didn't make it a 2.5-hour movie. It's about an hour, I don't know what it is, an hour 37 or something like that. And as I said, we kept cutting out things that weren't directly related to the simplicity of archetypal storytelling. Now, to do that, you have to be very trusting in the material. We try to name and describe conceptually, but it would be pointless. What the real power of this is mysterious to me and the filmmakers, the magicians who made the story, as much as it is to the viewer who watches the film. And I'm happy that it's that way. Clearly, it's in the realm of acceptance, patience, loyalty, love, compassion, all these areas which are who we really are when we look at ourselves nakedly in the mirror. That's really what we are. We're not our jobs, we're not our haircuts, we're not our clothes. We are that mysterious life force. And what empowers that, what animates that, is love. And that is beyond boundaries. And I think that's why archetypally this thing works the way it does on such emotional levels.
Credo che ci sia una domanda lì. C'è qualcuno, abbiamo visto un microfono lì, sì, prego.
Yes, Mr. Gere. Question about acting. I'm up here. Right.
Thank you.
What is more difficult, acting with a famous Hollywood actress or a dog?
It has nothing to do with gender, it has nothing to do with species. It has to do with some innate quality of beingness. Now the trick for us in this was, we made a very conscious decision to not train the dogs to do things. There were a few instances where they had to be trained, like when you know, he dug under the fence and opened the door and that kind of stuff. Other than that, there were like maybe 2 or 3 of those things. Other than that, all we did was create an environment that was trusting for the dogs. And we were shooting digitally, so we could have very, very long takes. You know, we had, I think the longest was probably close to an hour take of just working with the dogs and allowing for something magical to happen. And sometimes we would get nothing. You know, it just wasn't happening. Whether the dog wasn't into it, or you know, they were hungry, or they were too fed, or I wasn't on, something. Is it still on? You hearing it? Yeah. I was hearing it in my headphones. So it took a great deal of patience, I think, because we're not dealing with actors. It's like working with a child, where you can get something magical because you didn't ask for it. You know, I did a film years ago with Robert Altman, and I was watching on the set one day, and he was working with some children, and it was getting this wonderful footage for them, and wonderful moments, just kind of pure, spontaneous life. And afterwards I asked him, how did you do that? And he said, it's very simple, don't tell them what to do. And it's the same with the dogs, is that when we didn't tell them what to do, but put them in a real situation, an authentic situation, and were just lucky enough to capture what was happening, we would get something magical. And those are the moments which are, it's hard to define what they are, even in terms of drama, some of those moments in the film. But they're just moments that just have that breath of life to them, and of reality. And we recognize that, not in our heads, but somewhere in our hearts. It just feels right, and takes us to another place. And that was not easy to get. You know, that took a lot of planning to create the space for that to happen.